Good morning, children. Today I am going to discuss a simple concept: how do metals and non-metals react? In the lesson, metals and non-metals. Okay, we'll see how metals and non-metals react. See, for example, I'll take some examples of metals and I'll take some examples of non-metals. Check. Now I'm taking examples of some metals. For example, sodium and magnesium are metals. Right? You all know, children, sodium atomic number is 11, electronic configuration 2, 8, 1. Magnesium atomic number 12, 2, 8, 2. Okay. See here, sodium can easily lose electrons. Metals can easily lose electrons. So sodium can easily lose 1 electron and magnesium can easily lose 2 electrons. And by losing electrons, they form cations. Positively charged ions are called cations. Okay. Now I'll take some non-metals. Okay. Here I take here I take non-metals. Non-metals. For example, chlorine is a non-metal. Okay. So chlorine atomic number is 17, electronic configuration 2, 8. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6. Okay. Two, 8, 7. 2, 8, 7. See here, chlorine will take 1 electron. Non-metals, they try to gain 1 electron, children. So metals, they easily lose. Here I write the property. Use electrons. Metals have a tendency to lose electrons and non-metals have tendency to gain electrons. Now this is the basic thing. Okay. So generally metals have tendency to lose electrons. Metals, they easily lose electrons. And non-metals, they easily gain. Gain means taking. Metals easily lose electrons. Non-metals easily gain electrons. Okay. And in next chapter, periodic classification of elements. In that chapter, you will come to know exactly what is electronic configuration and all. Even in 9th standard, you have learned, children. So I hope you know this electronic configuration. How to write the electronic configuration. Right? Yeah. Now, what type of bond is formed? How metals and non-metals they react each other? That we will see. Now, here what is happening is, say for example, I will take a metal sodium, I will take a non-metal chlorine. So, in between, what type of bond is present? How sodium is reacting with the chlorine? How sodium is reacting with the chlorine? That I am going to explain. Observe carefully, right? So, sodium, okay, sodium atomic number 11, electronic configuration 2, 8, 1. So, in the valency shell 1 electron is present. That 1 electron it loses. Sodium losing 1 electron. Sodium losing 1 electron. When sodium loses 1 electron, Na plus will form. So when Na loses 1 electron, if this 1 electron loses in the valency shell, now it has 8 electrons. So sodium is losing 1 electron and forms Na plus. At the same time, chlorine 17, 2, 8, 7 in the electronic configuration. Chlorine is trying to gain 1 electron. Gain 1 electron. E minus means electron have negative charge now. So gain 1 electron. If it gain one electron, Cl becomes -1. Here can I write Na1 plus also. Na loses one electron, Na1 plus. Cl gains one electron, Cl minus. Now in between Na plus and Cl minus, Na plus and Cl minus, ionic bond is formed. This is called as ionic bond. This is also called as electrovalent bond. Electrovalent bond. Electrovalent bond or ionic bond. So how the ionic bond is formed? The attraction force that binds between two oppositely charged ions is called as ionic bond. Simply, the bond formed between two oppositely charged ions. The bond formed between two oppositely charged ions is called ionic bond. This is also called electrovalent bond. Electrovalent bond. Children, you understood? Here. Now, this same thing I can say like this. In the sodium valency shell, one electron is present, and in chlorine valency shell, total 7 electrons. Okay, let me start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, sodium losing electron and gained by Cl. So Na, when it loses electron, Na forms Na plus, and Cl if gains one electron, Cl minus. So the bond between Na plus C, sodium is losing electron. You understand, children? Sodium is losing electron, and the electron is gained by Cl. So this electron came here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Already in chlorine valency shell, 7 valence electrons are present. Sodium lost 1 electron and Cl gained 1 electron. So that here you can see the ionic bond is present between Na plus and Cl minus. So here I can write electron. So that you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 electrons are there. The sodium lost 1 electron and same electron is gained by Cl. Right, children? This is the way we can understand. So in between NaCl, which bond is present? Ionic bond is present. Electrovalent bond is present. One more example we will see. Yes, children. One more example we will see. Now I am talking about magnesium chloride. Magnesium chloride. What type of bond is present in this magnesium chloride? We'll see. Right? Magnesium atomic number is 12. Electronic configuration 2, 8, 2. So 2 valence electrons are present. So magnesium can easily lose 2 electrons. Magnesium can easily lose 2 electrons. Magnesium, when it loses electrons, loses 2 electrons, what it will form? Magnesium cation Mg plus 2 will form. At the same time, chlorine. Chlorine atomic number 17, 2, 8, 7. These are the 7 valence electrons. Right? So each chlorine can gain 1 electron. Gain one electron. So that Cl 1 minus. So we expect, children, what type of bond is forming under. See here, now I am representing this magnesium. In magnesium valence shell, 2 electrons are present, right? Magnesium, 2 electrons are present. One side 1 chlorine, another side another chlorine. In chlorine, how many valence electrons are there? 7 valence electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In this chlorine also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? So magnesium losing 1 electron and chlorine is gaining 1 electron. No. So Cl gains 1 electron. Cl becomes 1 minus. And Mg losing 2 electrons. No. These electrons are also losing. Right? So if this here Cl gains one electron. So Cl here Cl gain one electron and magnesium lost two electrons. So it forms Mg plus 2. So ultimately I can write like this: Mg plus 2 Cl1 minus Cl1 minus. So this between magnesium chloride, what type of bond is formed? Electrovalent bond or ionic bond. Electrovalent bond or ionic bond. Once again you see children how magnesium chloride is formed. What type of bond is present? Magnesium metal, chlorine non-metal. Metals have tendency to lose electrons. Non-metals have tendency to gain electrons. Mg losing 2 electrons, each chlorine gaining 1 electron. So in between MgCl2, what type of bond is formed? Ionic bond. How can you say? The electrostatic force of attraction between two oppositely charged, plus charge, minus charge. Electrostatic force of attraction between two oppositely charged ions is called ionic bond. This is the way we can understand the ionic bond present between metals and non-metals. Okay, between metal and a non-metal, ionic bonds are possible. Ionic bonds are also called electrovalent bonds or ionic bond. Okay. The same thing I can show like this children. Mg used, Mg lost 2 electrons, right? So this 2 electrons is given to Cl. So 1 electron is given to one Cl and 1 electron is given to another Cl. So here you can understand Mg lost 2 electrons, Cl gained 1 electron. So that the compound is magnesium chloride. And see, when Cl minus is there, we have to call it as chloride ion. Chloride ion. Right? So Mg plus 2. Mg plus 2 is called magnesium plus 2. Mg plus 2 cation. This is cation. Positively charged species are called cations. Negatively charged species is called anion. Cl1 minus chloride ion. Mg plus 2 magnesium cation. Mg plus 2 cation. Right children, this is the way to understand the ionic compounds. Yeah children. Now the next topic is properties of ionic compounds. Properties of ionic compounds. First we will see the properties. Okay. Ionic compounds are solids. First property is ionic compounds are solids. Ionic compounds are solids. Okay. And they are hard. Ionic compounds are solids and they are hard. Why they are hard means there is a strong force of attraction between cation and anion. Ionic compound means you all know. Example Na plus, Cl minus, right? Na1 plus Cl1 minus, right? So this is ionic compound. In between the ions, in an ionic compound, in between the ions, strong force of attraction is there. Because of the strong force of attraction between positive charge and negatively charged ions, they are hard. Okay. These are all brittle. Brittle means just we apply some force, or if we apply some force, it will be broken into pieces. That is called as brittle. Brittle. Okay. Brittle. Brittle. Brittle means when we apply some pressure, they can easily be broken into pieces. That is the first property of ionic compounds. Once again, you see children, properties of ionic compounds. Ionic compounds are generally solids they are hard. Why they are hard means there are strong attraction forces between oppositely charged ions, or there is a strong force of attraction between positively charged cation and negatively charged anion, and they are brittle. Brittle means when we apply some pressure, they can easily broken into small pieces. Next point, they have high melting point and boiling point. Ionic compounds having high melting and boiling points. See, why they have high melting and boiling point means, once again you see here only, here in between Na plus and Cl minus some strong attraction forces are present. So when they go to the vapor state, means when we do boiling it, when we boil it, so they require some more amount of energy is required. More amount of energy is required, or considerable amount of energy is required to break the ion, or to break the strong intermolecular force of attraction. To break the intermolecular force of attraction, more energy is required. Somewhat more energy is required. Considerable amount of energy is required to break the strong electrostatic force of attraction. Okay, so as there are strong intermolecular forces of attraction, to break it, more amount of energy is required. That's what they have high melting point and high boiling point. Next, what about solubility? What about solubility? Solubility means when they, in which compound they are soluble. Generally, ionic compounds are soluble in water. No doubt, ionic compounds are soluble in water. Why? Because water contains H plus and OH minus ions. Ionic compound. Water is also we can believe as polar compound or ionic compound. So, ionic compounds are soluble in water, and they cannot soluble in organic solvents like petrol, kerosene, etc. Insoluble in organic solvents. Insoluble in organic solvents. Organic solvent example, kerosene, petrol, etc. Okay, ionic compounds are insoluble in organic solvents like kerosene, petrol, but ionic compounds are soluble in water. Next, ionic compounds are good conductors of heat and electricity. Ionic compounds are good conductors of heat and electricity. Here, the most important thing is good conductors of heat and electricity, but when conditions apply here, okay, when they are in solid, they cannot conduct electricity. In solid state, they cannot conduct electricity. In solid state, they cannot conduct electricity. Why? Because the conductivity because of movement of ions. In solid states, the ionic compounds cannot move. The ions cannot move. In solid states, the ions cannot move. That's what in solid state they cannot conduct electricity, or they cannot conduct heat also. In solid state, they cannot conduct electricity or heat. Okay. But in solutions of ionic compound solids or melts, in solutions of solids or in melts, they can easily conduct heat and electricity because the ions can move. When the ions are moving, they can conduct electricity. Right? Once again, you see points, children. Ionic compounds are solids, they are hard. Why they are hard means there is a strong force of attraction between oppositely charged ions, and they are brittle. Brittle means when we apply some pressure, the ionic compound can easily broken into pieces. And next point, they have high melting and boiling point because there is some more energy is required to break intermolecular forces of attraction between the oppositely charged ion. Next, solubility. Ionic compounds are soluble in water, and ionic compounds are insoluble in organic solvents like kerosene and petrol. Next, ionic compounds have good conductor of heat and electricity, but there are some conditions. In solid state, they cannot conduct electricity or heat, but in solutions of solids and melts or they conduct electricity because there is a movement of ions. Wherever movement of ions is there, there is a possibility of conduction of electricity. Okay, children, I hope you understood the concept. Thank you.